Oh no, this is not good. Look at that. Yeah, that's engine oil. How's it getting in there? That's not coolant. All right, so here's the deal. There's engine oil in my coolant, and the batteries are not charging. This is a nightmare, and a lot of it's my fault. I dropped the engine, you guys remember that. I broke the oil cooler housing, I had to replace it. I resealed it. I probably didn't do a very good job, so I'm more than likely mixing in my engine oil with my coolant, and or I may have cracked something on that engine. Maybe there's a passage that's cracked. But here's the deal. This is something that I didn't tell you guys about, and it's kind of embarrassing actually, but I'm just gonna tell you. So the engine that I put in the orange truck actually came out of my wife's truck, which is called the Wife Max when I first purchased it, but that engine had 400,000 miles on it. One good thing about that engine is it ran absolutely awesome. As a matter of fact, I used that same engine to pull sleds. But then again, I definitely abused that engine. So unfortunately, that thing just sat in the backyard probably for about 1.5 years until I decided to reuse it. Because when I first purchased the Rust Max for $2,700, it didn't run. I didn't have a whole lot of money in it, and I just thought, hey, what the heck? I'll just take that high mileage, 400,000 mile, and put it in this truck and see if it'll even run. But if I'm having all of these issues, and not to mention this engine does have a little bit of blow-by, which I didn't tell you guys about either. Also, another thing to mention, when I pull the engine oil dipstick, I noticed that I'm actually losing engine oil, and we all know where that's going, of course. And make sure you guys keep watching, because I'm gonna go ahead and take this truck on a little test drive so you guys can see this with me. I literally have to put this thing all the way to the floor to get it to go. This truck is so underpowered, it's insane. I think we're gonna go ahead and just get another engine. We're gonna have to, but man, oh man, what a nightmare. So what's on the agenda? I need an engine, I need a Banks oil cooler upgrade kit, an L5P oil cooler upgrade kit. I am not gonna skimp out this time. I'm gonna go ahead and get the right stuff. So before I do anything as far as getting to a possible solution on this engine and what I'm gonna do, I need to head to the post office because we have to drop off those orders. If you're not aware, I am running a diesel lift pump giveaway on my website, truckmasterdiesel.com. So if you have a Duramax, Power Stroke, or Cummins, or plan on owning a diesel truck and you want to get entered in, I left that link in the description below as well as the comments, but you guys can't wait. We only have a couple weeks left, and before you know it, this giveaway will be completely gone. All right, guys, we got big problems. So I was driving the truck, and all of a sudden, the battery stopped charging, both of them. So that was last night. This morning, I went ahead and hooked up the battery charger, and I topped off both of them to full. So as it's running, it should be reading about 14 volts, but it's only reading 11.7 if I'm not mistaken as it's running. So right now the battery's not charging, it's just killing the batteries. But we got a P0621. I cleared the code, still says battery not charging. Go ahead and read it again. And we're getting the same code here. So I'm gonna go ahead and check that out, see what's going on. Check this out. I can't even make this up. Yeah, let's see. It appears to be engine oil mixed in with my coolant. But as of right now, there's a lot of sludge build up in this engine. Man. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and let all that drain. But we're gonna wait till the very end and see what this looks like. Here it comes. See how it's getting darker and darker? Oh, this is not good. All right, guys, so at this point, the only thing draining out of here is water, clear water, but this is what came out. So I'm gonna flush the system completely. It really wasn't that much that came out too, which is kind of interesting, but I'm gonna flush this out completely. I'm gonna go ahead and fill it up with just regular water. And this is the other situation, obviously, as you guys know. This really sucks. Battery's not charging. So I gotta figure that out too. I tried to clean those terminals the best I could, it didn't work. What in the world is going on? This right here is the voltage that goes directly to the battery from the alternator. So that's going to be your positive. I can't do this with one hand, but I went ahead and tested it. It's not even reading on voltage at all. So this brand new AC Delco alternator is bad. All right, so I'm gonna need an alternator. Hopefully this thing doesn't die on me on my little road trip. Just gonna take it down the road and check the coolant again. I went ahead and drained it and filled it like 3 or 4 times, but I know that engine oil is gunked up in there. Right now it's to the floor. Up a little bit better than last time, and it's probably because I was flushing the cooling system and getting all that gunk out of there. I have a feeling that by now the coolant passages and the heads, just everything in general, is plugged up. I mean, she is struggling. Still faster than my 6.5, by the way. Guys, I'm back home. We're gonna go ahead and pop the hood, check the coolant, see what it looks like. Oh, by the way, before we start jumping to head gasket issues, I highly doubt it. The engine's studded. I don't think that's the problem. All right, so I'm at Austin's house. I'm gonna pick up this LB7 engine. Paid him some coin for it. It's here. This engine actually was went through, right? I mean, yep, pistons were pulled. You said it was resealed?
Resealed. It's got about 5,000 miles on it.
And studded. It's got
studded. Heads are fresh. 65 over Dan's diesel injectors in it. Good set of Hamilton push rods. You know,
there's really not much to say. It runs.
Not much to say. It's a good little runner. I mean, I think it's just cooler. It needs resealed. You know, it's a good fresh water pump.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's got a new water pump on it, which is good. But I'm still going to have to tear it down, obviously. I want to clean it up, but I'm just going to tear it down, just check everything up. I'm not pulling the heads, though, but everything else, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and just take apart. But we're going to load it on the truck. We'll get it home and show you guys what we got. I'm going to go ahead and get it on this pallet, go ahead and strap everything down, get it in the garage, go ahead and look it over, but I'm pretty happy. I'm glad it's here. But without dropping the engine this time, let's go ahead and try this again. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and pull the orange truck back in the garage, but we have her set down, no issues at all. Shouldn't have a problem. I'm gonna go ahead and shut the garage up for the day, but I'll go ahead and get to the next day, guys, when I can finally start tearing this truck down. I'm thinking I'll have about 2 days on this job, and only because it's just me. If I had another guy wrenching with me, it shouldn't be a problem. We can knock this thing out in 1 day, no issues. But basically the whole front end of this truck's gotta come off. And again, I'm not pulling that cab. But here we have it, transported safely. It was about a 3-hour drive total time, actually close to 4 hours. Right when I woke up, it's about noon now. Lots happened. But let's go ahead and get to the next day so I can start working on this truck. All right, so it's like the next week and a half since you guys saw that last clip. I really wanted to get a lot done, and I do not want to drag this content out. I have to get the stuff knocked out. And I'll tell you what, a lot of stuff just came in. For example, the Banks L5P oil cooler upgrade kit. And this is going to go from an 01 to a 2016. Definitely one of the biggest upgrades I think you should do if you have your engine pulled anyways, is to go ahead and just swap it out with a L5P oil cooler. And basically what that is the newer aged Duramaxes. So your 2017 plus L5P Duramaxes have better oil coolers. They're more efficient. So Banks did come out with a kit where you literally can just bolt this thing on and go. It's such a huge upgrade, and I'm gonna show you guys exactly how to install that and kind of talk about the benefits. And I'll also post a install video on my other channel, Truckmaster Garage, if you want to check it out. But nevertheless, let me go ahead and get into all of the parts that I've gotten so far for this truck in order to get the engine swap knocked out. You guys saw that. As far as I'm concerned, 65 overs. It does have a stock CP3, but we are gonna have to put a bigger Ryan's Diesel Service turbo in there because we do have the stock one in there. As far as I'm concerned, that turbo is going to be hating life because now we're going to have more fueling. I am not going to pull this thing out of the package, but this is a radiator. This is an aluminum radiator. It's brand new. It's a little more upgraded. But with all the extra horsepower, I have to upgrade the turbo, and I have to do a converter. I have to do a triple disc torque converter. I have to upgrade the stall. We have to get this transmission rebuilt. We don't have to, but you know, with all that extra power, I would hate to go through all of this and not actually throw a built transmission in there. But just stay with me on this build. I definitely have to save some money to get a built trans. That's not gonna be cheap. That's gonna be about $6 grand. I did get a brand new alternator. This one's actually kind of cool. It's a 220 output. It's a little bit bigger. I tested it at the alternator, so I'm gonna rule this out and just say it's a bad alternator, and these things go out all the time. So that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna replace the alternator. Not in this video though. I'm not doing anything. I'm just gonna pull that engine. Check this out though. That's a beautiful piece. I mean, it looks good, but with the higher output, I think it's gonna go ahead and charge those batteries up nicely. Look at that thing though, that is sweet. I think it's a good call. It's gonna add some bling under there. But if you guys don't know, I have some nice goodies that I'm gonna slap on this from this engine bay. For example, the HSP high flow manifolds, the up pipes, basically all of the brand new parts are gonna be switched over. Of course, all the HSP goodies, that's all gonna go back on there. Let's just go ahead and unbox this Banks L5P oil cooler upgrade kit. And I'm gonna go ahead and show you guys how I'm gonna install this on this engine. I might as well do it now before I put it in this truck. From my understanding, depending on what model you have, total install time on the oil cooler upgrade kit, 5 to 7 hours. It's a lot of work. All right, I was literally getting nothing, so I went ahead and pulled out that one. It's a brand new battery, I had it on the shelf. And we're gonna go ahead and charge it up. It's been sitting for a couple of years. It looks like it's already charged, good to go. And I'm gonna trickle charge that battery. Fortunately, these are brand new batteries. I will be unboxing this, which is the Ryan's Diesel Service Turbo. I just ordered it off their website, and now it's here. That was a pretty quick turnaround. But I'm gonna go ahead and unbox it and show you guys exactly what size I went with to try to keep up with these injectors. And by the way, that's what the coolant looked like, just so you guys know. Oil, sludge, nasty. I know a lot of you guys like the Banks products, so I did reach out to those guys, and they set me up with an affiliate link. So if you guys ever decide to purchase anything Banks, use my link, my banks.com link. That would be super awesome if you guys can do that. But again, I'm gonna leave that link in the description for this product. What do we have in the package? They're gonna give you an oil filter, which is pretty awesome. It's gonna be an AMSOIL oil filter. They don't mess around. There's really not much here. I mean, it seems like a pretty straightforward install. Let me show you guys how to do this. It briefs well. I say it's a straightforward install, but once you get into it and you've never done it before, I'm sure it's a hassle. I think it's neat that they implemented a oil tap right here so you can install a probe and check your oil temperatures as you're driving so you can monitor that. It's pretty important. But overall, it's gonna keep the engine oil lasting a whole lot longer for sure because you're keeping the oil temperatures down. If you look at some of the generations of Duramaxes going all the way back from 2001, they've gradually gotten bigger. And the reason why is because they've upgraded the towing capacity. For example, the brand new 2024 Duramaxes have a maximum payload capacity of 38,000 pounds, and some of the Fords out there can actually go up to 40,000 pounds, which is absolutely insane. But let's be honest, you're working your engine pretty hard and you want to keep those oil temperatures low, and if you're hauling a lot of weight, it's important to have an upgrade like this. But from my understanding, if you have an older Duramax like a 2010 and you take one off of a 2024, it won't simply just bolt on. You will need some extra parts for that. But the guys at Banks made it super simple, so you don't have to outsource any parts. All right, so I'm gonna remove this from a long block engine sitting on a pallet. It's a lot easier to see. It's gonna be a lot harder to do with it on the truck, but it's just a general example of how to do it. So we're gonna go ahead and, oh yeah, I left that loose as well. The two long bolts, the 120 millimeters, will require the two large washers that come with the kit to be installed, which will be on the top and bottom. So go ahead and work that in, and again, leave everything loose. Go ahead and insert this and run the bolts in. So we're done with that. We're gonna go ahead and torque this down to 18 foot-pounds. And of course, once everything's installed, go ahead and spin on your filter. But that is it, guys. That's how you do it. Again, very straightforward. Out with the old, in with the new. I'm so pumped about this. Head over to my other channel. There's a little bit more of an in-depth review and install video on how to do that. But I'm pretty impressed with the Banks install kit. You don't have to outsource anything. It's all there. So in my opinion, if you're trying to like rebuild that and put new seals in it, you might as well just skip the guesswork and just do it like this. Now with all of that out of the way, let's finally get to what you guys want to see, which is the new turbo that I have for this truck. I'm so pumped about it. Let me show you what I got. So it's going to come with the warranty paperwork. Make sure you keep that. Of course, the gasket. Oops. It's gonna come with the install kit. I'm going with a 64 millimeter. But on the website, this is the exact turbo, 64 millimeter, 01 to 04, Duramax LB7. He has them for all generations, Duramax, Power Stroke, Cummins. But yeah, the RDS 64 millimeter is going to handle up to 650 horsepower. So that's why I did this. But you're gonna get your 64 millimeter compressor wheel, 64 millimeter 10 blade high flow turbine wheel. Regardless, this is the solution right here when it comes to my fueling. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention adjustable wastegate. I'm actually really excited to see how this performs with this setup here. And then another thing that I shouldn't be talking about, but at this point, I don't care. I made that Chevron deference video. I'm sure you guys, probably a lot of you guys watching my video actually subscribe because of that. So if you're doing a 64, 66, 68 upgraded turbo on any one of your diesel trucks, you have to tune it. It's not gonna run right. So I just wanna let you guys know that if you decide to slam one of these in your truck and think that it's going to perform much better, I think you're gonna be disappointed. It's not gonna run very well. It's gonna blow a bunch of black smoke, so you have to tune it. You know, I get this question all the time. Who's the best tuner out there? I don't have an answer, I don't. But what I do know is I can trust some of the tuning companies out there. Click on that link down there if you guys wanna get your diesel truck tuned. I believe there is a discount code for that as well. It's super hard to find aftermarket parts that I trust. So there's the information right there. Maybe I'll do a video on how to tune this thing. Let me know in the comments if I should do that. So I run Ryan's Diesel Service turbos on all of my diesels. Right now I think I'm up to 7 diesel trucks, and I have never had any single issue with their stuff. Just as long as you boost leak test all of these turbos. Once you install a turbo, boost leak test it. I mean, I have several boost leak testers. They're pretty cheap. I think this one was only like 50 bucks. You can buy them on eBay, Amazon. They come with the clamps, you know, all the boots, the couplers needed. But make sure you boost leak test it up to, just bring it all the way up to 40 PSI. I know it's scary, but take your air compressor and just let her go. Because if you have any boost leaks, you're gonna overspeed the turbo and explode it. And you don't wanna do that because these turbos aren't cheap. I'm talking about ruining expensive parts when I'm over here trying to slap an engine in this truck and trying to get everything squared away when it really was my fault. But then again, in the beginning, I paid 2,700 bucks for the truck. You guys remember that. It was rusty and gross. We restored it to this, which is awesome. In my mind, I wasn't planning on doing that. I was just planning on making it run. Engine's already been gone through. It's already been resealed. I really took a look at it. It's got brand new freeze plugs on it. The guy that resealed the engine was able to get eyes on the crank, the pistons, everything. So we know they're good, but that is it. I love talking about my shortcomings and sharing them with you. But hopefully we can learn something. That's kind of what this channel is all about. I'm actually in the process of taking all my diesel crate stuff, and I'm gonna start putting all these odds and ends in orders. So if you guys order anything on the website, anything $20 or so plus, don't be surprised if you just see something random in your orders. So get entered in to win a diesel lift pump, and good luck to the winner there. All right, we'll see you on the next one. Stay tuned.